While numerous definitions of youth participation exist, there are several common factors that provide consistency amongst different understandings and interpretations. Participation is a process. Participation happens at multiple levels, and participation is about the distribution of power. Rather than a one-off event, participation is about sustained engagement of young people in decision-making processes. It starts on an individual level, within the family, and the question of to what extent children can make decisions about their everyday lives becomes important. For example, can they choose their own hobby activities, or in more serious matters, can they choose the parent they want to live with in case of divorce within the family? Then there are possibilities within existing decision-making structures and processes. For example, young people can practice participation at school or university students' councils, youth organizations, regional or local youth councils. Young people can be involved in formal consultations and policy making or deciding on youth work budget at local level. In some countries, the voting age for local election has been lowered. This is the most traditional way for participation. Some of the research shows that young people these days prefer participation on social level to traditional or formal forms of participation and use possibilities such as different social movements, grassroots campaigns, cultural groups and projects where they become actively involved.
There is no agreed definition of youth participation. It starts with the decisions about your personal life and can go on to the decisions of community life or having a say in the social issues in general. But does it happen easily that children and young people are part of decision making? Participation is always about power, and youth participation is about adults sharing their power with or giving it to young people. So youth workers can support young people on this sometimes bumpy road of participation.
Some participation models describe participation as a ladder, where on lower levels there is no participation happening, and on upper levels decisions making is in young people's hands and they share the power with adults. Some models show us a pathway to reach higher levels of participation and help those adults working with youth with some guiding questions like, are you ready to take children's view into account? Or are you ready to share some of your adult power with children? And some models make us think deeper on preconditions and processes, like challenges, what are really important to young people and their capacity to reach them and with whom they can do that. But they also help to tackle the obstacles of participation. The differences within the models highlight nuances in participation, particularly in terms of outcomes for young people, underlying assumptions, and the relationship between young people and adults. Most interesting dilemma is whether the emphasis of change should be on adults or young people. Is the aim for adults to change their approaches and processes, or is it the responsibility for young people to learn how to engage with adults in their space?